Hello and good evening. My name's John. We're here playing Sakura Succubus. We're here playing Sakura Succubus 2 as part of my Steam cleaning series, where I go through every game in my Steam library eventually and arbitrarily rate and or review them with the Weeb of Playtime. I don't quite know what this game is, but this game's out at random. I do recall I played the first one of the series for about 15-20 minutes. It was a visual novel, harem style, bunch of women and some schlubby photographer guy. Let's jump in and see where we left the story off in Sakura Succubus 2, or 1. It was my last year of high school that I had my first girlfriend. Her name was Yuki, and she had a very long, dark hair and a stern, serious face. She wasn't athletic, and she didn't like talking to people. It was almost impossible to wring more than 5 words out of her at a time. Well, but you chose her as your girlfriend. In the end, my classmate learned to keep their distance. She was pretty, yes, but she wasn't worth their time. Weird. Yuki silent wasn't that of a shy girl. She was surly, almost rude, dismissive too. It seemed like she actively disdained all our classmates and the human race in general. Weird. I thought she disdained me too, until she confessed to me. Her confession surprised me, but it wasn't unwelcome. I was only 18 when it happened, and it was my last year of high school. I've never been confessed to before, and I was, what? Okay. I accepted her confession, and after we became a couple, we were almost always together. We walked to school in the morning and back home in the afternoons. We studied for exams in the library, and Yuki tried and failed to make me lunch on several occasions. We went on dates too. I can still remember one particular date we had in the countryside. It was an unfeasibly hot day, and the cicadas chirped insistently in the undergrowth. Yuki was wearing a sheer cotton dress with thin straps, her dark hair loose. I love the big black window here. She kept fanning herself, but it wasn't enough to ward off the incessant heat. Okay. That is in a river. You're in a river. In the end, she took off her wedge sandals and waited out until late to cool down. I went in after her and splashed her with water. She didn't squeak in alarm. She wasn't very emotive. What? But she did splash me back. We got in a fight and Yuki's dress was soaked through. It clung to her body, accentuating her curves. Droplets of water rolled down the insides of her thighs, and she was wringing out her skirt like a sponge. I think about that moment a lot. That might have been one of the happiest days of my life. I told Yuki as much when we were on the train going back home. She only tipped her head to one side and said, "Really? How curious," like a scientist overseeing some sort of experiment. It was an odd response, but Yuki had always been an odd girl. She was my girlfriend, but she didn't smile very much. Okay. She was a aloof, stoic person, but I found I didn't mind that very much. Her icy persona only made me feel more gratified when I was able to make her laugh. I never thought of dating Yuki before, but soon I became infatuated with her. I liked her a lot. Over time, I think I grew to love her, but our relationship was short-lived. Aww. What happened? Blackness. Soon it was time for us to graduate. Yuki went to a college overseas while I continued my studies in Japan. After that, I never saw her again. Wow. Thanks for this great intro of someone who is no longer in the story. I only spent 3 months with Yuki, but I can remember all in stark detail. If only she hadn't transferred into my school during our final year. If only she had waited until last semester to confess to me. If only I had more time together. I used to think about such things a lot when we first broke up, but now I don't. Not often anyway. You just told me a long story about how it was the happiest day of your life. You do think about her a lot. 10 years? Wow. It's been more than 10 years since then, and I'm no longer a starry 18-year-old. I am an adult. You continue to tell a story about this girlfriend. I have a job. Good for you. And a very demanding boss. I'm so swept in work, I haven't had time for new relationships in years, nor the time to think instead about old ones. I like Yuki a lot. You continue to talk about her, but that's in the past. I doubt I'll ever see her again. It's pointless to contemplate what's already past. I know that. So why am I thinking about her now? That's because beneath the moonlight in this secluded Japanese garden, I think I might have found her doppelganger. A woman stands before me. Why are these games always showing me these Dutch angles? Like, it's really confusing to me. Wearing a yellow kimono, her long black hair tumbles around her shoulders. She looks just like Yuki. You can't even see her face. In one hand, she holds a red lacquered parasol. I can't see her. Yes, you can't, but her shoulders and hands are creamy white. She looks so much like Yuki, I can't help but stare. Is it really her? Maybe this is just a trick of the light or lack of. I'm seeing things. This woman can't be Yuki. I haven't seen her in over a decade. You really have gotten over her, haven't you? She went out to study overseas. She hasn't contacted me since we broke up. For all I know, she could be anywhere. America, France, Italy. Those are all the anywheres. This can't be Yuki. But if she's not Yuki, who is she? Why does she look so familiar? Haruki, that's me, Hiroki. Excuse me. I call to him and my mouth feels dry as I swallow a sock. Excuse me, ma'am, are you all right? What? Oh, yes. I'm sorry if I startled you. I was just gazing at the moon. It looks so pretty tonight. Don't you agree? The woman turns her head. Franz? Franz of her dark hair fluttering. And I see to my disappointment, but not surprised that she isn't Yuki after all. Dude, you gotta get over her. This probably goes without saying. I have no idea why I thought she might be. Given all the crazy things that have happened in my life lately, it is probably a good thing that Yuki isn't here. What crazy things? You just have a job. That's all that's happened in your life in the last 10 years. What would my ex-girlfriend make of my tangled mess of romantic relationships? Again, you've had no relationships since this one 10 years ago. I'm not even sure what I think about all this madness. What madness? Young boy. You're 28. Tell me, young boy, what is your name? I'm Hiroki Ogasawara. I'm sorry. Ogasawara Hiroki. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hiroki, is it? That's a nice name. It suits you. The woman smiles pleasantly. My name is... I got an achievement. My name is Hifumi. I'll be staying at this Ryokan for a few days. I do hope to see you again, dear. I think we'll get along quite splendidly. Oh yeah, it'd be nice to get to know you. That's what I say, but my voice is vague. Something about Hifumi makes me pause. She's not Biyuki. She not Biyuki. She is not Biyuki. Translation. But the feeling that I know her persists. Her name sounds awfully familiar too. Is that a rare name? Could it be... Yeah. You're not the famous actress Yamamoto Hifumi, are you? Oh, my. So you've heard of me. One does not like to brag. I don't know if I'm that famous. But yes, you are correct. I am Yamamoto Hifumi. I suppose I have appeared in a handful of movies. Ihihi. Hifumi's tone is humble and polite, but that makes her manifold. Manifold? Manifold? I could be. I don't read well. Manifold and accomplished even more impressive. I think a handful of movies is something of an understatement. Hifumi is one of the most sought-after actresses in all of Japan's cinema. She's been working from the tender age of 18, and she's been in the industry for 15 years. So she is 33. Hifumi's in her early 30s, but she doesn't look it. Her skin is flawless and devoid of wrinkles. Her body taut and supple beneath the folds of her coat. Really? She still gets asked to play the same sweet, wide-eyed ingenue roles that propelled her to fame all those years ago. She starred in about 20 well-acclaimed movies, and that's not to mention her numerous appearances on TV dramas, talk shows, and adverts. She's so famous, she's practically a nationwide symbol in Japan. Everyone knows about Hifumi, yet you didn't recognize her right away. I'm a big fan of hers. I've loved her for years. Hell, even my dad is a big fan of her, and my mother, too. Hifumi has wide appeal. She's loved by both men and women, adults and children. Maybe that's because, despite her good looks, she's very modest and polite, unfailingly appreciative of her fans, and soft-spoken to boot. Soft-spoken to boot. Wow, you have a real vibe. This can't be real. Are you really Yamamoto Hifumi? That is the name of my parents bequeathed me. Yes, why? Hifumi inclines her head. Is there a problem with that? Oh no, there's no problem. It's the opposite of a problem. This is a bit embarrassing, but I'm a big fan of yours. I love your work. What? Really? Hifumi blinks, taken aback. I've never thought I would find a fan of mine all the way out here. I must be more popular than I thought. Ehehe. You've been doing this for 15 years. Are you kidding? You're incredibly popular. You have whole websites. Okay, that could be creepy. Devoted to you all over the net. Do we say the net? Not that I frequent such sites, of course. I've certainly never looked at the Hifumi feet wiki before. Ha ha ha. Who are you saying this to? You're not just popular in Japan. You have fans all across the globe. But we're in Japan, so what does it matter? I never thought I'd meet you face to face. This is incredible. I don't think I'm so incredible, really. I'm just a normal woman. But if seeing makes you happy, then that makes me happy too. I do so enjoy bringing smiles to people's faces. This is why I became an actress in the first place. And you've done an amazing job. Keep at it, Hifumi. Of course. Hifumi bows her head. How could I not when I have fans like you? I must admit, I have been in something of a slump recently. All the roles I've taken on have been so very similar. I was beginning to worry that my career is stagnating. I came here to take a break so I might reevaluate what I wish to do in the future. But after hearing such kind words from you, I know that I cannot give up. I have fans who love me. I can see that clearly now. Wow, one strayed word. As such, it would be shameful for me to give up and abandon you all. Wah! Wah! Hifumi. I stare at my idol with the large shining eyes of a child. I think I was a child when I first saw Hifumi's movie. I must have been 14, maybe 15. It would be no lie to say that Hifumi was my first love. I even had a poster of her on my bedroom wall. That was one of the reasons I accepted Yuki's What does accepting a confession mean? What does that mean? I've always thought with her long black hair and pale skin, she looked like, okay. So so this girlfriend you talked about really was just a stand-in for this actress. I feel positively awestruck, but I can't afford to lose my senses. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. I need to act, and fast. Dial it down a notch. Although one second thought maybe I'm being too effusive with my compliments. I don't want to make Hifumi uncomfortable. She doesn't seem to mind being praised. In fact, it's quite the opposite, but she just said she came to the Ryokan to relax. It'd be unfair to ask her too much during her time off. I don't want to inconvenience her, but I really do want her autograph. Okay. I stand there for a few moments, dithering helplessly when... Boop! Hold it right there. Huh? I whip my head around. Since it's late at night, I didn't expect to be interrupted by anybody else. I mean, she should have security. But life... Why am I at this Ryokan? Like, what am I doing here? But life has been doing its level best to surprise me as of late. It's been succeeding, too. I stare, mouth agape, as I come face to face with two girls I know very... Well, okay, so if we're... What? From the first game? What? It's Japan's #1 idol, Ikyu Ayo, and with her famous cyan hair, cat ear wearing rapid pound model. What's a rapid pound model? Cosmos. This humble Ryokan is full to bursting with celebrities. If Wakatsuki Maria were here too, we'd have a full house. But she isn't. I guess she must be in her room sleeping. Being an ultra-famous businesswoman must be taxing. Not that I know. I'm hardly at Maria's level. Wherever I look, I'm surrounded by raw star power. I'm starting to feel very out of place here. And now look here, you traitorous turncoat. I already stabs a finger in my direction. You can't ask Hifumin. Do you mean Hifumi? Did you add an N because of translation for her autograph? Or is that supposed to mean something? You're supposed to be my producer. You're fraternizing with the enemy. Your producer. I don't remember that. Since I met Ayu at a tropical beach resort in Okinawa. It's a long story. See first game. She's been detrimentally calling me her cameraman. When did I get such a lofty promotion? And you're my boyfriend? I didn't know we were... Okay. I don't want you flirting with other girls, not paying my back. She's 33. So sorry, Cosmos. I wasn't flirting. I was just telling Hifumi how much I liked her movies. I'm a fan. Yes, I heard. You were being so loud, I'm sure everyone in the whole Ryokan heard. You're not very subtle, Hiroki. Do you really have to make so much noise? Some of us were trying to sleep. But Ayu... Cosmos blinks at Ayu perplexed. We've been spying Hiroki since before he talked to Hifumi. Didn't you come into my room at midnight, wake me up, and ask me if I... It's after midnight? Wanted to keep tabs on with you? Wait, what? You girls were spying on me. Yeah, so what of it? Ayu tries to look indifferent, but her face is burning. For an idol, she's always bad at hiding her real feelings. This can't be your after midnight clothing. You don't wear this just walking around. Like, get some costuming. You should be grateful that a cute girl like me is giving you the time of day, you loser. So I've been demoted from producer to loser in the span of a few seconds. Success is such a fickle beast. Anyway, it's not like I care who you flirt with. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. You can still do what you like. Okay. I just wish you would do it more quietly. But you were still smiling on me. So what? You're a pervert. What? I'm just talking to this person. So I had to make sure you weren't going to harass me. Okay, so you're saying I am one. Harass Marina in her sleep. Who's Marina again? I'm sacrificing my sleep for the greater good. And I'm so nice and sweet. How can you not love me? Don't you agree, Cosmos? What? Oh. Anya nudges Cosmo with the side of her elbow, which makes her jump. Yeah, Aya is so cool. She's the best. I love her even more than I love sea cucumbers and pudding. Clap, clap, clap. Poof. After I had a stinker behind my head. Wait, what? Behind my hand. Okay. Something pretty funny about Cosmo's completely deadpan delivery. Aya glowers at me. Are you doubting my cuteness, Hiroki? No, not at all. I think you're very cute and very noble. Yes, indeed. I really am perfect, aren't I? I'm so nice. In fact, I'll give you I'll give you a few words of advice. You should stay away from that woman. Please zoom out. Thank you. Who, me? Yes, you. You might act sweet, but I know your game. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't get too close to Hiroki or she'll devour you. Perhaps this news should concern me, but being devoured by Hifumi doesn't sound all that bad. You said that all out, all that bad. What? Why you? Anya takes a step towards me. She's so heated, she's practically shaking with rage. I'm surprised steam isn't coming out of her ears. How could you say something so scandalous? Isn't it enough that you have 3 of us to dote on you? You don't need any more. Yeah, why? What is this relationship? You're a bad boy, Hiroki. Your appetite cannot be sated, but I don't mind that. If you're frustrated, you can use me however you like. I'm your girlfriend and I belong to... Wow. Ehehehe. Hey, Cosmo, no fair. Don't try to make any moves on Hiroki. I never gave you permission. Why should I need permission? Hiroki is my boyfriend. He might be your boyfriend, but he's my producer before that. His duties towards me should have come first. Oh, really? But I've been lovey-dovey with Hiroki much more than you have. Ugh, you be. Anya recoils, her face burning. That is a work in progress. I want to take my time to claim Hiroki bit by bit. I'm not cheap and easy like you. I'm an idol, not some rapid pound. What is rapid pound supposed to be? Rapid pound. TikTok? Rapid pound. I don't know, bimbo. I deserve to be treated accordingly. I'm not a bimbo, and Hiroki said he doesn't mind that I post my photos online. He supports me. Is that OnlyFans? If he supports you selling your body online to salvage menaces, he can't love you that much. It's because he loves me that he supports me. Your cold, callous heart wouldn't understand that. Why is she still here? Like, just walk away. Why you be take this? No you. And now I and Karma are bickering great. Oh my. Oh my. I'm glad to hear that Hifumi. Oh my indeed. Okay, you gotta zoom in. I am curious, Hiroki, what is your relationship with these 2 naughty children? That's a long story. I guess you could say that 3 of us have been a very close personal connection or something. Ah, I see. Hifumi nods her head sagely. You must get along well. You really think so? Yes, indeed. Ayu and Cosmo must love you a lot, or they wouldn't be bickering about you so. And if those 2 were not good friends, they would not be able to argue like this in the first place. It might be nice to have friends like that. I led quite a sheltered existence myself. I've never before partaken in such lively debates. It looks like it fun. I don't know about that. I can't imagine Fumi calling anyone a bee or pulling the hair like Anya and Cosmo are. It doesn't suit her mature, refined. She's 33. Not saying that's old. I'm just saying, like, she's not a child. I think you perfect just the way you are, Fumi. Perfect. That's quite a compliment. I'm sure I'll be able to live up to your lofty expectations, but I shall do my best. As an actress, I would never want to disappoint my fans. You couldn't. You're so kind and forgiving, easy to talk to, too. I don't know why Anya seems to dislike you so much. It doesn't make any sense. In fact, I think she could stand to learn a few lessons from you. Come to think of it. Anya and Cosmo seem to know Hifumi well. They even gave her a cute nickname. Okay, so wasn't there? Hifumin. Would they address her by her first name if they never spoken? Sam Potter is Cosmos and Anya Ayu's yells continue to drift through the air. They're making such a commotion. It's after midnight. I'm surprised that their cute cries wake up the entire Ryokan. Boop. Oh, this is Marina. Marina? Now, what's all this? Again, it's after midnight. You put this on to come outside? And speaking of waking the whole Ryokan, it looks like Mari's up and about. She's wearing her typical business attire despite the lateness hour. Okay, at least you called it out. But her white hair looks a bit messier than usual. That's very long hair. Yawning, she presses her palm to her mouth, then looks around. Ayu, Cosmos, it's too late for your silly arguing. Stand aside. But Cosmo said, I don't care what she said. You leave her alone or I'll be forced to discipline you again. You don't want that now, do you? Eep. Anya flinches and takes a few steps back. I guess she's remembering the time back on the beach when Maria delivered a volley of slaps. Wow. Against her defensive here. Wow. Now then, Maria looks at Hifumi. I don't expect you to see you here, Hifumi. It's been too long. Marina, it's been good to see you. It's good to see you too. Hifumi offered me an elegant bow. How have things been? They've been going well enough. I would like to ask about your affairs too, but I read about you so often in the newspapers, it seems hardly necessary. Your career is booming. Hardly. You exaggerate. Hifumi laughs lightly and waves her hand as though she's trying to brush aside Maria's compliments. In fact, I've been having some doubts about my career. I feel like I'm stuck in a rut going through the motions. That's why I decided to come here to the countryside. I thought it might help me clear my head. I didn't know that you would be here though. Oh, or dear Ayu or Cosmo, this is a pleasant surprise. It feels like a family reunion. Ehehe. Family, huh? If Hifumi regards Maria and Ayu and Cosmo's family, that must mean you're not a succubus too. Oh, we got to it. Succubus too, are you, Hifumi? One doesn't like to tell. A woman must have some secrets, you know. It adds to their lure. Hifumi giggles. But if you already know about succubi, then I suppose there's no point in being coy about it. That is indeed correct. I am a succubus. I'm a member of the same clan that Maria, Ayu, and Cosmo hail from. They are like sisters to me. Ayu and Cosmo are cute, temperamental younger sisters, and Maria, well, I'm not sure if I regard her as younger, older sister. Certainly I've lived more than she has, but I think she's even more talented than I. She's so much better than I am at making people listen to her. Ayu never does what I tell her to. She always ignores me, but it's really sad. That's because you're too soft. You can learn to toughen up. If you don't, no one will pay you any heed. You might be right about that. Was good at putting my foot down once, but now I must have lived among humans for too long. I've been quite the pushover. Don't worry, I can teach you how to say no again if you like. I'll give you extensive lessons free of charge. Would you? That might just prove to be helpful. Thank you, Maria. I am really glad to see you again. And of course, I'm glad to see you again too, Cosmos Ayu. What? Smiling bitterly, Happy presses her palm against the top of Ayu's head, then she gives the hair a rustle. Stay out of trouble now. Don't get any more fights with poor Cosmo. I'm glad to see you get along so well, but you absolutely must vent your spleen. I think it might be better if you did it over a game of shogi. Shogi? Ayu glares at Hifumi. What century thinks this is, old granny? No one plays shogi anymore. Why not? They don't? How sad. Then, Maybe play a game of Karuta instead. I hear that has been quite popular as of late. Yeah, right. I don't want to play Karuta. I should have a life, you know. Now stop ruffling my hair. You're going to mess it all up. Does it matter? It's very late and you really should be in bed. If you don't get enough sleep, if you do not enough sleep, you'll be cranky in the morning, then you'll get into even more fights. Now please, promise me you'll behave in the future. Behave yourself in the future. I know you can do it. Who's a good girl? There. Hifumi continues petting Ayu's head while Ayu's grows more and more pronounced. Eventually, Ayu's patience, which had never been very most plentiful, wears thin, and she pushes Hifumi's arm off her. At least we got to the title of it, so these are all succubi. I'm not bought in the story. Like, I don't really know why they spent the first 5 minutes talking about his ex-girlfriend, or why, again, they're at this location, or what my investment is. Like, if you're gonna get a plot hook, you need to do it in the first 20 minutes, at least for me. So this has been Sakura Succubi 2. There's like 8 games in this series. I dread this. Cheers.